Hey, what is up guys? MKBHD here, and welcome to the Q&A video number 3 for 2017. We kind of figured we're doing these on a monthly basis now. There was one in January, one in February, and now it's March. So before it snows us in here, let's go ahead and answer some questions from Twitter. Do you think Apple and Google are collaborating on something? Referring to Tim Cook and Pichai's dinner. So I don't know if you guys saw, there was this picture floating around of Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, and Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, at some dinner, maybe. I can't even tell if they're in the same place. The photo looks weird. It looks almost photoshopped, like the angles are messed up. But you know what, even if we take the picture at face value, it is totally possible they had dinner together one day and someone took a photo of it. I don't know if they're collaborating on something because they had dinner together, but I still would love to imagine, like I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation. All right, you know how it goes. First one to smile picks up the tab for dinner. Right. Whoa. You should update the Mac Pro. What is the worst thing you've ever done at a tech event? I actually thought about this one for a little while and I couldn't come up with anything, but then I read the replies to this tweet and they actually brought up a good one. There was once a Moto X launch event in New York City, and instead of bringing the typical camera that I usually do, I brought the RX 100. It was one of the first point and shoots at the time to shoot 4K video. It was an opportunity to test it, felt like a really good use for that camera, and I brought it in to get the first hands-on for that new Moto X and get footage on the RX 100. Well, that was when I very quickly learned that that camera overheats while shooting 4K for more than about 5 to 8 minutes at a time. So I was stuck in that event with a brand new phone in my hand and a camera that stopped working 5 minutes into my shooting because I had to take out the battery and literally blow on it to get it to cool down. So luckily I had a couple batteries with me. I could go through them and cool down the camera and get all my footage, but that was almost a lot worse than it actually ended up being. I mean, the video I got out of it actually ended up being pretty good, but that might be the worst thing I've ever done at a tech event. If you could meet one person, dead or alive, and talk tech with them for an hour, who would it be? Okay, so brace yourself for the most unsurprising answer in the world. I'm pretty sure this would be on anyone's list, probably in their top 3 or 5 at least, would be Elon Musk. I've interviewed a couple people in the past and they weren't necessarily tech-specific figures. You saw the video I did with Kobe. I tried to ask him about tech. He's clearly not a huge tech head. I've even talked with Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's an astrophysicist, but we talked more about like conceptual stuff. But if you've ever seen Elon Musk get interviewed, he's the CEO of an electric car company, and he can literally give specifics about fine-tuning the electric car's motors and the aerodynamics and the technology that goes inside it, all that stuff. Same thing with rockets. He happens to also run a rocket company and talk specifics about rocket science. So I think it would be pretty awesome to talk tech with Elon Musk for like an hour, even if we're just shooting about like, hey, what phone do you use? Like, what tablet do you use? What laptop do you use? Have you taken the challenge of making a Tesla Model S commercial? So for those who haven't seen, Elon Musk, of all people, the CEO of Tesla, retweeted a tweet from apparently a letter he got from a 5-year-old asking if they could hold a contest to make the best video about Tesla. And they wouldn't have to spend any money on marketing because that's kind of a thing Tesla doesn't do, but they could give some prize to the winners. So now Tesla's actually doing it. It's called Project Love Day. I think that's the name of the little girl's last name. And I'll link it below. I'll link the tweet so you can see the whole story that led up to it. But now they're opening submissions for the best possible video in under 90 seconds about Tesla. So of course, naturally, I'm thinking about making maybe not just one video, but maybe I'll make a couple of submissions and like put them in to one video that I put on YouTube, but also submit them separately so they can get those. I think it would be a lot of fun to try to make the best, most clever possible video about the Model S, considering the ability we have to do that. Let me know if you guys have any ideas for what I should put in the videos. Here's one. Why don't you talk about sponsors in your videos? The simple answer to that is usually because there is no sponsor. If there ever is a sponsor, it's actually legally required that I disclose it, so that'll always be either in like the bottom corner of the video, you'll see that there's paid promotion in a video, but that's very rare, and in fact the last sponsored video that I've done, I actually had to look it up, was the 100 OnePlus 3T giveaway. Now naturally on a tech channel you always think like, oh, if he shows a product or if he likes a product, that's clearly helping the company that made the product out a little bit, which is also the reason why anytime I like something I get accused of being paid for it. But obviously, you know, I can't do that because that's illegal, like super illegal. So the one reason we actually do like to bring in sponsors for videos is to be able to make things happen that we couldn't ordinarily do. Sometimes it's to get access to something like a product to show you, or sometimes it's to give away 100 phones. I'm pretty sure it would have been extremely difficult for me to buy 100 phones and then give them all away and then ship them all internationally to the winners. That would have been impossible without the sponsors. So that's the type of thing that I look to go to a sponsor for, is to make stuff happen that couldn't ordinarily happen. But if you guys are ever at all curious about whether or not a device was provided for the video that I made about it, you can always find that at the bottom of the description. So if you see a review and you just want to know, that's always going to be there. Do you see smartwatches making a comeback in 2017? No, not really. I kind of see it the same way that tablets ended up. Tablets, I made a video about if they're dying or not. I think they kind of are. If it's not an iPad, it's kind of fallen off the map in the tablet world. I mean, let's be real. And it's kind of the same way smartwatches are now. If it's not an Apple Watch, it's kind of also fallen off the map, which is pretty sad. That doesn't mean there aren't other good smartwatches out there, because there are. There's really good smartwatches. But in terms of sales, volume, brand awareness, just people knowing about smartwatches, Pebble's gone, like a ton of the ones that we used to really put our name on, like the Moto 360, that's gone. It's the Apple Watch or it's nothing. That's just the way it is. Playoff predictions for those Clippers? Not looking too high. I mean, it's still like middle of the West, but I'll say we will lose to either the Warriors or the Spurs, whoever we play first. Is being a YouTuber a career or a hobby?
¿Por qué no las dos?
What is your favorite meme at the moment?
¿Por qué no las dos?
Austin says, if you could redo one video from the last 8 years, which would it be? First of all, wow, 8 years? Have we been making videos for 8 years? Second of all, I almost have no good answer for this. The one thing I can say is I did get to interview Kobe a while ago. If I could redo that and meet Kobe again, that would be pretty cool. What do you expect from the Pixel 2? Okay, so we know the Pixel 1, the Google Pixel, was a surprise great phone from last year, and we're kind of all but confirmed that we're going to see a Pixel 2 this year. What do I expect from it? I have almost no clue. All I know is stock Android, the latest version. There's people outside talking. The designs we've seen from phones this year already, like the G6 with that great display and no bezel, and also the Galaxy S8 coming, kind of have me optimistic for probably a little bit of a more radical design for the Pixel. But again, the focus of the Pixel has never really been design. I mean, you go back to the Nexus, it's all about the software. So it's kind of a toss-up. We'll see. I'll be happy to see it. Anyway, that's where I'm gonna end this Q&A. Thank you so much for your questions and for your comments, of course, that I'm looking forward to. And if you wanna be first in line to be able to ask questions for the next Q&A, if you just wanna see when it's happening, be sure to follow on Twitter. The link is below. That's where I'll end it. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.